This is War Room Moments, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and most relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. War Room Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board. Here's your host, Jason Miller.
Hey, welcome to today's episode of War Room Moments. And today I have Linda with us today. And Linda really is an expert on online visibility in your business and all these things, but I'm not going to try to tell you all that. Linda, tell us about you and tell us what your superpowers are. And welcome to the show.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Jason. My name is Linda Barutha, and what I do is I help online business owners with my superpower of online visibility strategy. And, there's many ways to get noticed in the online space. But there seems to be this myth going around, if you will, that all you need to do is post on social media, whether that be Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and be doing that numerous times a day, and you're going to wake up to piles of money in your bank account in the morning. And I'm going to tell you that would be the equivalent of winning the lottery. And I mean, who's all been playing the lottery, right? Everybody does. And I don't see us winning, right? At least not the big kahuna prize. Right. But I have actually found that a better way to build your online visibility and gain more authority, which is that means that people are going to stand up, take notice to your expertise that you are providing them in your business. The way to do that is to utilize search engine platforms to get that message out. And there's a couple of reasons why. When I say search engine platforms, I am talking about the top three: Google, number one, YouTube, number two, and Pinterest, number three.
That's very interesting because, I would bet you that there's probably very few people that would even think leverage Pinterest, right?
Right.
And that's interesting. And I want to talk about that for sure. But I think a big question that burns in most people's minds is, what have the effects been of the pandemic? How did that change everything, right? What does it take now versus what it took then, for some contrast?
Yeah, it's funny. So, I've been on online for business for years. So, before the pandemic, it probably just wasn't as crowded as it is now. I mean, it's always crowded, but now it's really crowded. So your visibility becomes so much more important, right? How do you rise above all the noise that's going on? And so you really have to take a more strategic approach. So before COVID, there were less people than there are now trying to get their online business working for them. And now you really, really have to be strategic. It's a necessity. Whereas before, you could just, I'll show up and post that I'm going to be offering some free training session, on Facebook, and a whole bunch of people would come. And now, because there's so many people are more discerning on what they're going to show up to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've especially seen that in LinkedIn for sure.
Right.
Where, I mean, it's like there's an expert crawling out of every single hole on LinkedIn that there is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. I bet you I get at least 100 messages a day
Right.
on LinkedIn. It's insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's really important that we really focus on our USP and tailor that to a specific avatar instead of trying to throw out this big old broad net, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't use you're not Walmart. Don't go there. You're not Walmart offering something to everybody. You need to niche it down as much as possible so that your message can speak specifically to those that would be looking for you.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell you for SAB, I've learned a lot about the marketplace when it comes to that. Although we have such a unique USP in the Strategic Advisor Board, but it doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Because no matter what, you have to cut through all the garbage, no matter what. And I'm interested to hear a little bit about this whole Pinterest thing, because that kind of took me off guard when you said it. And I was like, Pinterest, really? Huh.
Yeah, so there is a myth out there. Most people, general consensus is that Pinterest is only used for foodies and bloggers and DIY crafts or whatever. Sure. And it's just not true. Yes, those are there, but I challenge you to go onto Pinterest and do a search for online business coaches. You're going to see a lot, and you can tell by their numbers that are shown there that they know what they're doing there. So it is really intelligent to be writing content that is going to speak to your ideal client, get that content on your website, and then create some pins on Pinterest that will link back to your website.
Golden nugget, ding, 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 golden nugget, pay attention.
That's right. That is how you do it. So that's the whole process, if you will, is that the whole concept. So if somebody clicks through and goes, oh, I want to read more about that, and they click through to your website, even if they hop right back off of it and they don't do anything, okay, they've already helped you improve your Google rankings. Google pays really close attention that, oh, you were interested in something on their website. Oh, their website is about XYZ, and Google takes note of that. So the next time somebody is looking for XYZ, you're going to show up in the, get closer to page 1 at least of the Google rankings, the results page, right? And so the more and more and more you do that, see, so you can make 4 or 5 pins different, which basically is a different graphic that represents the content that you want them to go and look at. So you can do it for the same URL that you're pointing to 4 or 5 times, because you never know which graphic is going to speak to people, right?
Second nugget, ding, 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 nugget 2.
That's right. That's right. So it's really, really important to be using this, because when I discovered this years ago, and what had happened was my website, I follow the traffic to see, it went from single digits to 200 to 300 a day. And I went, whoa, where is this coming from? Well, Pinterest.
Wow.
Because I just started that. And within 2 weeks time that I started that process. And I took, so every single blog post you write on your website, every lead magnet, the freebie opt-ins that you create, you should be putting all of those on Pinterest. It's just, and then there's something on Pinterest called idea pins. Really, it's the equivalent of like a reel. It's like a short little video that you can just put on there. Slides, you can either develop it right within Pinterest, or you can create it on Canva and upload it as an idea pin. Now, I am speaking right now as a service provider, but a product-based business is, oh my God, they better be on Pinterest. They cater even more so to a product-based business. But yes, the service-based provider is also out there.
Wow, that's amazing. I would have never, ever thought that that would be an idea that worked. Yeah. Well, I've never, ever brought this up on this forum, but so years and years ago, this must have been 10, 15 years ago, I used to do a lot of stuff on eBay. We grew a huge company on eBay, and I kind of figured out how to hack eBay is what I figured out how to do. And because you can't put URLs or links or none of that stuff in eBay, but what you can do is put a video in there, right? And what I used to do is I'd take a video and then I would take a PDF snapshot, because the algorithms can't read text on a PDF, right? On a picture. And I would list something there and then drag them off of eBay.
Yes.
So I was like literally pulling tons and tons and tons of traffic off of eBay. And in some businesses that would really work really well, for sure.
Right.
Anyway, I don't know if that would still work today, but
you don't know if the technology is going to still play nice with you, right? They might be able to read that now with a lot of the AI that's going on. But yes, there are ways, definitely. And it's all, I guess my thing is, think ahead about the time you spend to create any type of email, post, whatever. I'm not saying don't put it on social media. I'm saying it's more important to also put it on a search engine. That's how you're going to get the ROI out of having a website to begin with. Is that, you're getting more traffic to it. It's actually you're driving leads to know more about you and what you have to offer. Right.
Yeah, it's just, so did you stumble into this Pinterest thing by accident or?
Yes, I did. Years ago, I hired 3 virtual assistants in one day. Each one had a different skill set. Of course, I originally was only looking to hire one, but one of them brought with her that skill set of putting all this stuff on Pinterest. So I said, have at it. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh, it blew up. It was awesome. And very quickly, I developed a program based around offering that service as a full concierge service that I do for my clients, which is one of the services that I provide, is really just to help them, because it really takes the pressure off for an entrepreneur not to have to think every day what to be, posting and stuff like that, if they're already generating this traffic from a search engine platform. Definitely. Other thing that we're doing now is we take, a lot of people go on to do Facebook Lives, and same with LinkedIn. So they do a live video, and then those are very short-lived. You're lucky if it lasts 4 hours, and then it's lost in the feed, never to be seen again. But you can download that. And so have your own recording, right? So what we do is we repurpose those, make them really pretty, and build up their YouTube channel. not to mention creating pins to that.
Right.
You see how it all works together. So now you got your website, your YouTube channel, and your Pinterest all working together.
Yeah.
Google loves you then.
Yeah. And I think a lot of business owners that are, they're trying to do a lot of this stuff themselves, and
Right.
they think they're doing it right. But in reality, it's like burning 365 days to get very minimal result, when you could have burned 365 days and just tweaked a few things and have been doing it correctly for a better result. But
right. And that's the thing. A lot of people put so much effort in the beginning on social media. And really, if you are working smarter, not harder, you're going to focus on having what I call your cornerstone content, what really tells people what you do, what you provide, and then get it repurposed on those search engines and let it go to work for you.
Right. Yeah. That's amazing. I would have never, ever in a million years would have thought Pinterest would have been, because my wife's a Pinterest freak. Because I tell, because she's always taking pictures of the kids running around. It's like, I always go pin. And
I'll give one more big golden nugget. So if you are starting out a brand new Pinterest business account, and the first thing you should do is go find some of your competition out on Pinterest and pin their stuff. And do that before you start pinning your own. Okay. It helps to tell the search engine what is your business about. It's like Google, where they need to understand you so that they can index you accordingly, because that's the way a search engine works.
Interesting. Nugget, another nugget.
That's right.
All right, that's 3. Man, y'all are getting more nuggets on this one than any other one. So I hope you're paying attention. But anyway, well, gosh, that was great. I took stuff away from that, for crying out loud. Well, part of this podcast is to, obviously we're aiming to help business owners, right? But more importantly, some of the younger generation, right? They're so good at all this stuff. They're really good at all this technology and these certain things. But if they just knew exactly how to do these things without making the mistakes, right?
Right.
I mean, they're already dangerous as it is. My 3-year-old already knows how to use my iPhone better than I do. So,
right.
But, in that vein, what's a business struggle that you could share with a young, up and coming entrepreneur or CEO that you went through in business? Obviously, you and I have been in business forever. So we've got buckets full of these things. But
yes, we do.
What do you think would be one of the best ones you could pull out and share? And then how you overcame it?
Yeah. So my biggest struggle, so way back in the day, like actually, I want to say 7 years ago, I had a brick and mortar. I was a product-based business, had a brick and mortar. My husband got a job relocation. We had to move 3 hours out of town. I had to shut down the business, and I wasn't going to open up another shop somewhere where I didn't know anybody. So I decided I was going to just take my business online, and I really struggled because I didn't understand how to market myself in the online space. It's very different than in person. And I struggled for a long time. But what I did is I took the time to educate myself. And one of the first things I would say that was very helpful is you need to be very discerning on who you listen to, right? And who, like really be able to pick apart in your brain the behind the scenes of how they are making their money. I used to do this years ago with blogging, like 20 years ago. Like I used to get in there and I would just like rack my brain going, how are they making money? All they're doing is writing something. How can you be making money? I didn't get it, and that was before all the advertising was so heavy, right? But I really think it's really important to really analyze carefully. There have been a lot of people that like initially, they look, everything looks like a shiny ball, right?
Right.
Like, and really, it is just a shiny ball. It is not necessarily the truth. So you need to be very discerning, because if you go down that rabbit hole and follow the, whatever one person is telling you, what if that's wrong? What if it's not, right? Remember, like the whole herd is on social media. And I'm telling you, they're not all winning the lottery, okay? So that's why I'm saying be a little bit smarter and pick up some valuable techniques like the ones we gave you today that you can incorporate into your marketing. Because if you're not marketing, you're not in business. And, I fought it for a long time. I just wanted to work with my clients. I didn't want to have to deal with the marketing. So the sooner you embrace marketing, it gets to be fun and enjoyable once you start seeing some results, right?
Yeah. And to kind of piggyback on that, and you can't expect to see results today.
No, you are planting seeds. And that's what the name of the game is. Plant as many seeds as you possibly can. Do not believe that, oh my God, I've got this, I get to go live to somebody else's Facebook group. This is gonna turn to money. You don't know that. Plant as many of those seeds as possible. Be on many podcasts. Look for every opportunity to meet more people, because this is still a people business. The only difference is that it's online, but people connect to people, and that's where referrals are not dead. Far from it. No. Ask. I always love to ask highly successful 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs, how did you start getting paying clients? 9 times out of 10, it's a referral. It's a referral. That's never going to go away. No. The human connection is never going to go away. So you need to remember that. And especially for the younger generation, that's what it's going to be. They buy into you, a lot of times before the product or service that you're selling.
Yeah. That's so true when it comes to, it's like, but you got to have a little bit of both, right? You got to have, multiple streams of things coming in, right? Your referral leads will always be your best ones, right?
Yeah.
Because there's already that know, like, trust there. So
exactly.
that's already established. Yeah, all really good stuff today. And I appreciate everything you brought here. And I kind of like to wrap things up here by asking this question. And that is, if you could have picked anyone that could have been here on the call with us today, dead or alive, and you could have asked them a burning question, who would that be? And what question would you ask?
I think I would pick one of my favorite authors. His name is Guy Hendricks. And the book he's most well known for, because he's written numerous ones, is called The Big Leap. And if you haven't read it, it is like life-changing. It's awesome. It's for everyone. And it really helped me in my business life to get even greater focus, if you will. So if I had a chance to talk with him today, I think because his book has been out for, at least 5 years now, I would love to get an updated today version of what his life looks like, and just see. I'm curious. I like to know about the real person, and like, how has his life changed? And because I do see his book recommended by a lot of other people too.
Right.
So
yeah, there you go. Awesome. Well, hey, how do people get a hold of you to work with you, since you share so much value? How do people get a hold of you to work with you?
They can go to my website, lindabarutha.com, and right there, you can get in touch with me. You can read up on the other things I do. And you can also take an online visibility ranking test. It will tell you where you're at right now, but it will, more importantly, then based on that information, it's going to give you some specific actionable steps that would make the most sense for you as to the results of where you're at right now.
Awesome. Great. Well, great. Well, hey, thanks for being here, Linda. That was a definitely an enlightening time for me with the whole Pinterest thing. Never would have knew that. So thank you for sharing that. And
Sure.
thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend a little bit of time with me today.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Jason.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in to today's War Room Moments. Remember, dream it, believe it, and achieve it. My name is Jason Miller, your podcast host, signing off.
Thanks for listening to War Room Moments with your host, Jason Miller. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.